What's up? What's up? How y'all bees? Who your bees? Welcome to Listen Vision Live, and we're going to actually be me today, Kerry Woods from Maryland House Pros. My honorable, super smart, fine guest is not here, Miss Hawkins. She has something else to do, but it's me today, guys. And I'm gonna just talk about what I know. And that's
the weatherman acted up.
What I know and what I do, and some of the events that we got going on today. So I'm actually live online with Facebook too. So you guys on Facebook, how your bees? You know, if you have any questions, go ahead and send them over. But I'm gonna go over what I do, you know, which is wholesale, and I'm gonna go over, you know, real estate in general. So I'm gonna talk on some things. One of the things I want to start on, you know, guys, you might want to get a pen and paper because some of the stuff you might want to write down. But the market, and I was listening today on the radio where they said the real estate market in DC is overpriced. It's one of, I think it's one of 10 or 12 markets around the nations that's overpriced. So what does that mean? What does that mean for a buyer, agent, an investor? You know, from my perspective, right? You know, as a buyer, I'd be cautious to buy in a market that's overpriced. You know, because pretty soon it's like if I'm buying into, you know, an overpriced market, you know, from the past, I'm gonna be underwater when the market makes its correction. The market's gonna correct itself. When it's gonna correct itself, we don't know. But the real estate market usually follows the stock market. So watch the stock market. And speaking of the stock market, not to get off course, this right now the stock market is booming. And one of the reasons the stock market is booming because the president promised to spend all this money on infrastructure and roads and training, and that drew in a lot of investors. Those things are not taking place. So it's just a matter of time before the stock market correct itself too. Because when these investors realize that all those promises not going to take place, what's going to happen? Just as fast as they jumped in the market, they're going to jump out the market. When they jump out the market, it's going to cause things to drastically change. So as a buyer, I wouldn't buy into a market that was overpriced. It just wouldn't make sense to me because, you know, I'm going in thinking, hey, pretty soon when the market corrects itself, I'm going to have negative equity. And as a realtor, I would keep that in mind, you know, when I'm actually working with buyers. That might be something you want to inform them, so you come across as the knowledgeable realtor. So when the market do correct itself, they won't be looking at you like you did them an injustice. But as an investor, you know, you look at these large projects, guys. It's a lot of condos conversions is going on around the District of Columbia. You know, those huge projects that's going to cost you money and cost you time. I'd be very skeptical of jumping on large projects right now. It's never a bad time to invest. You want to get in and out as quick as possible, but to take on a large project right now, I would be very skeptical because, number one, not only they say the market is overpriced, right? They also projecting interest rates going to go up again. So what that's going to do? All that's going to do is hurt the market. So you're going to be like paying high interest on an overpriced home. Nobody wants to do that. So if I was investing, you're looking at these huge major rehabs, I would be skeptical when getting into these large jobs because you might end up taking a loss. And it goes with the market. And I spoke on this before. You know, it goes from a seller's market to a buyer's market. Right now we're in a seller's market. In a seller's market, the inventory is low and the prices are high, and the interest rates are pretty decent because you can't have high interest rates in the seller's market. So the inventory is low, the prices are high, and sellers pretty much can demand what they want. So once you start to see the shift in the market, and if the rates keep going up and they keep saying that the market's overpriced, it's going to scare off buyers. And what you're going to see is the inventory is going to start to increase. So the inventory is going to increase and the price is going to go down. So you're going to have high inventory and low prices when it shifts back to a seller's market. So the question is, should you buy? You know, should I wait to a seller's market or wait to a buyer's market? When should I buy? And the thing with real estate is you can never predict the market, and with real estate, never ever wait to buy real estate and wait. So if you buy real estate for investment purposes, you're buying it for long term anyway. And that's what I'm getting into anyway. Like what I do is wholesale. And some of the steps to wholesaling, you know, when you first get into the business, if you're brand new in the business, what I would suggest that you come in and as a like under somebody that's know what they're doing as a manager. Most people come in as what they call a bird dog, and those are nothing but property finders. Those are number of property finders, and you might hear somebody say, "Oh, I need some bird dogs." Bird dogs is just somebody that go out and find a property for the investors an investor actually close on and they actually, pay the bird dogs. Then you go from bird dogging, once you get a grasp of what's going on, to wholesaling. And wholesaling is simply putting the property under contract for a low amount and selling that contract for a higher amount. Notice I said selling the contract, for a higher amount. And you can bird dog, you can wholesale in any of the states. Actually in Ohio, and the Board of Realtors got together and tried to force investors out, so they made wholesaling illegal. And it's still a legal way to do wholesaling in Ohio. So when somebody says wholesaling is illegal, it depends on how you do it. It can be illegal. Remember, we're not selling a house, we're selling a contract. If you're selling the house, then you're acting as a realtor. But in Ohio, they made it more difficult, but there's still ways to actually wholesale in Ohio. If you're in Ohio and you need to know how to wholesale, you can just hit me up at marylandhousepros@gmail.com and I'll tell you exactly how to do that. So you go from bird dogging, which is a property finding, to wholesaling. And wholesaling, you're not going to make a lot of money as a rehabbing. So you go from bird dogging to wholesaling to rehabbing. And you go from rehabbing to buying homes. Now from wholesaling, which I always say you start off bird dogging, then learn the business. So you property finding, you learn the business. Then you start wholesaling. You wholesale to pay the bills. You wholesale to pay the bills or to self-finance. Now getting more into self-finance after that. So once you go to wholesaling, you learn the wholesaling, you move to rehab. You rehab to make a profit. When you wholesaling or bird dogging, it's very limited or no risk. I can't say no risk because it's investing. It's very limited risk. You're taking on very limited risk. When you start wholesaling, you're taking on more risk. So you go from wholesaling to rehabbing. You rehab for a profit. Then you go from rehabbing to buying whole for generational wealth, and you keep that money flowing and can pretty much have income coming in and retire. You don't have to work anymore. But with wholesaling, I remember I say you wholesale to pay the bills, but also you can wholesale to self-finance your rehab deals. So you can close on wholesale deals, so you have enough cash stacked up where you can actually finance your own rehab deals, and you don't have to go out and borrow that money to do the rehab deals. But one thing I teach too is OPM. I don't care if you got $1 million in the bank, go ahead and borrow that money to do that deal. Always use other people's money. Because if that deal go bad and you're using your money, you not only lost your money, but you lost that deal. Now, if that deal goes bad and you're using somebody else's financing, all you lost was somebody else's financing, probably a friend in that property. So always try to use other people's money. Don't worry about, I got to pay interest on it. Go ahead and borrow that money and use other people's money. So, okay, now I'm gonna talk about wholesaling mainly today because that's basically what I concentrate on, and that's how I make money, which is really cool. So, and one thing I wanted to talk about too is take yourself out your business. And I heard somebody else speak on this. I think it was Trevor Ott, and it's like you so caught up in the labor side of your business. You think you got to go out there and work hard and do all this to make your business grow. So guys, all you did, if you left your job and started a business and you're the main one working in your business, all you did is employed yourself. You're employed for yourself. And you want to take yourself out your business. How do you take yourself out your business? You outsource. And it goes back to your target value time. Now, if you got a pen or paper, write this down or just go ahead and record this. Now, figure out your target value time, right? Figure out what you want to make a year. Say, I want to make $500,000 a year. Divide it by 52. It's 52 weeks in a year. So take your number, divide it by 52, then divide it by the number of hours you want to work a week. Most people work 40 hours a week. And then that's going to come up with a number. So what you do, say I want to make $500,000 a year. I divide that by 52, divided by 40 hours, and I'm going to come up with $240 an hour. That's my target value time. Now I started asking myself, is everything I'm doing worth $240 an hour? Is answering emails, is filling up lawnmowers if I got a lawn service, is that being out there, is that part, if that's worth $240 an hour? No. So go ahead and do that right now. I'm going to take a 3-minute break and I'll be right back, guys.
brother what I want for myself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Come on. I want all my people around me. Everybody living good. Everybody eating good. Everybody chilling. I want all my people around me. Everybody eating good. Everybody living good. One for my brother, one for my
sun is shining, the air is clear, my folks are smiling, no need for fear. The kids are learning what they should learn. Finally folks are earning what they should earn.
I want all my people around me. Everybody living good. Everybody eating good. Everybody chilling. I want all my people around me. Everybody eating good. Everybody living good. One for my brother, one for my sister. If there's enough for one, there's enough for two. It starts with me and it starts with you. It's complicated, but it's simple too. Just like patience, sharing is a virtue. Show folks where you stand. Lend a hand when you can to your fellow man. Over plan for the day when you can't work the way you used to. I want all my people around me. Everybody living good. Everybody eating good. Everybody chilling. I want all my people around me. Everybody living good. Everybody eating good. One for my brother, one for myself. All my people, yeah. All my people. All my people, yeah.
Cool. Welcome back. How y'all bees? Who your bees with and who your smoke trees with? Hey, now you guys had time to go out and figure out what your target value time was, right? So take what you want to make a year, divide it by 52, which is the number of weeks in a year, then divide that by 40 or whichever number of hours you want to work a week, right? And you're going to come up with a number. And that's your target value time. That's what your time is worth to you. Now figure out, do you want to do that? And I'm talking about working, putting the labor in your business. How often do you see a business owner putting labor in their business? You think the McDonald's franchise is out here flipping hamburgers? No, guys, you need to outsource. And one of the best sources to outsource it is Upwork.com. You can actually pay somebody to do it. You can actually hire somebody with a college degree, right? Somebody that's college educated with a college degree and pay them $2 to $4 an hour to do what you don't want to do. And they'd be totally happy to accept that. Sounds crazy, don't it? Guess what? They'd be happy. They'd be happy because it's more than what they're making right now, which is cool. I think in the Philippines, their minimum wage is 79 cents an hour, and you paying these guys $2 to $4 an hour to do something that's not worth your target value time, especially if you're in real estate. If you're in real estate, right? Whether you're an investor or whether you're a real estate agent, the first thing you need to do is get you a transaction coordinator. And they absolutely won't cost you a dime. That transaction coordinator should handle all your transactions once they come in, talk to the seller, talk to the title, deal with the title company, deal with the payoff, and make sure that deal goes to close. That's their only job, is to make sure that deal goes to closing without any hitches. And they get paid only when that deal closes. So it's not going to cost you anything, guys, to hire that. That's as an agent and as an investor. And another thing you need to hire is a marketing specialist. I don't care if you say you can't afford to not to. You need to hire a marketing specialist, somebody working on that marketing, because these guys have been doing it for years. They're experts in their field. And by you learning it, trying to take time to learn it, it's going to cost you a lot of time and a lot of money. You end up doing it incorrectly because they're experts and they just running right past you. And that's when you say this business don't work. So the stuff you're not good at, the stuff don't meet your target value time, or stuff that you're not proficient in, find somebody that's good at it, outsource it to them and let them do it. Don't sit down and be trying to learn how to program a website. Is that worth your TVT? No, because the return on it is not even worth your time. Go figure out somebody that's done it because somebody's done it before, they already paved the way for you, and pay them to do it for you. Make sense? Cool, let's move on. And ebooks, guys, same thing. I was talking about if you have a skill, right? If you work for a company and they say you are essential personnel, you have a skill, take what you do and put it in a simple ebook. I mean, what it's going to do is it's going to attract more clients to you. For instance, say real estate investing for myself. I can take how to find motivated sellers. I can put the 2 to 3 page book together and I can sell that book, or I can just give that book away for free. Just do a simple ebook. Agents, you can do a book on how to prepare your house for the market. Do a simple ebook and you can self-publish that ebook and you come across as the market expert. So whatever market you're in or whatever market you're working in, flood that market with ebooks. So when they go to look stuff up, guess what, guys? You're the expert in that market because you know everything that they've been reading in these simple ebooks. And if you don't know it, go research it or go to Fiverr at iverr.com and get somebody to do it for you for $5. Get them to write you a simple ebook where you become an expert on everything in real estate and put that book out there for the whole world to see. Cool? Like I said, we live on Facebook too. If you have any questions, put it out there. So I always discuss that we're in the seller's market. I always tell you about your target value time. I went through the stages of real estate investing. You go from property finding, which is bird dogging, to wholesaling, to rehabbing, to buy and hold. A lot of people skip past the property finding and wholesaling and they go straight into rehab. That's not a problem. But what I'm saying, if you don't have experience in the construction field or you've never done it before, please get somebody that's experienced, knowledgeable, and trustworthy before you jump out there by yourself, because that can cost you a lot of money, a lot of frustration. Cool? And I also discussed about the market. You know, right there they said right now DC is a overpriced market. I think it's one of 10 or 12 markets that they say is currently overpriced right now. And should you still buy a house? It all depends. Like I said, you never, ever wait to buy real estate. You always buy real estate and wait. Will it always be overpriced? No. Think about them houses 5 years ago. What if you bought 5 years ago when promised somebody probably told you, oh, it's not working? Then you look at the increase now, which is really a good work, especially that buy and hold that long term. Just think of any properties that you bought 20 years ago that you hold on to. So when is a good time to buy real estate? Anytime. Do you wait? No. You buy real estate, wait. You don't wait to buy real estate. Okay. Now I wanted to talk about some events we have coming up too. So August the 12th, actually we got the property preservation. That's going to be at 10 a.m. You can actually register online. I'll put the link and everything for that online. Property preservation. So guys, we're looking for general contractors. We're looking for plumbers. We're looking for electricians. We're looking for just property cleaners. So if you want like maid service, grass cutters, lock changers, anything. If you want to start a business where you're actually working for these banks and they paying you good money to come out and do this stuff, we can show you how to do that. You can get these contracts. And the great thing I told you, remember I said outsource, you don't have to do it yourself. I can show you actually how to outsource it, where it be your business, but you're not working in your business. And that's cool, you don't have to do all that thing for yourself. So you can actually grow that business, you don't have to do it yourself. But let's say you're already an electrician, you're already a plumber or something, you're just looking for more work, and you want to come work with some people that has actually got these contracts. Come on out, we can pair you with people that actually have these contracts and can get you more business. So whatever you want to do, if you want to come and start your own business with property preservation, we know all the companies, we know how to get you contracted, we know how to get you business coming in. You can be up and running within a week and have business coming in, and they pay really, really good. But if you just want to come out and work with the companies that's running, or if you just want to come out and run some of our deals, you got to be trustworthy. Come on out and we'll get that up for you. So that class is August 12th from 10 a.m. I think from 10 to 4. And actually you can find it online. We also got a pop-up shop that's coming August the 19th. A pop-up shop, you can actually come if you're a vendor. You can get you a table. I'll put that information online too. You can come get you a table. You can set up and you can sell, whatever product you're vending. It's actually going to take place at a car lot. So, the car dealers are going to be offering discounts on vehicles. If you show up and you partake in the service of one of the vendors there, you actually get a discount on the vehicle. You don't have to use it there. It'd be good for a period of time. You can always come back and purchase a vehicle at a discount. What else we have? Girls Night Out, August 25th. That's at 9664 Marlboro Pike. So August 25th, we got the girls' night out. Got a new home buyers presentation. I don't have a date for that. And we also got an event coming up with the guys. Let me go back before I talk about it. Actually, Harriet Hawkins with I Go to One Realty. She's the broker. My partner usually do the show when she's not here today. But she has a relationship with these new home builders is absolutely outstanding. So she's got an event coming up in September where she's going to go and introduce you to some of these new home some of these new home developers. And if you're in the market to purchase a new home, you might want to get in touch with her because it's a really good thing. The relationship we have is different from everybody else. And the thing with a new home, you don't think you need representation going into a new home. You definitely need representation going into a new home. Excuse me, because that agent or sales rep sitting in that new home development works for the builder, and they're not going to look out for your best interests. I have so many horror stories. We just went through one like a couple of weeks ago. It was terrible. So many horror stories. You go in there, it's not cost you anything to get your realtor to come represent you with that buyer, but you need some type of representation when you go into these new home developments and looking for these people. So if you out here looking at a new home development and you don't have a realtor, it doesn't necessarily have to be a realtor that I recommend or a realtor that works with us. Find your realtor, any realtor, because they licensed, they trained, and they're gonna look out for your best interest because they have a fiduciary duty to you, unlike the people that's sitting there at that desk. They work for that developer, and they're gonna look out for the best interest of that developer. Cool? So what else we have? Actually, we're hiring agents. So if you're a seasoned agent or you're a new agent and you're looking to grow your business, talk to me. Give me a call. My number is 240-389-4319. I guarantee you what we have is better than anything out there. But not only do we have free leads to give you to run these leads, we've got the best training in the business. I'll show you how to actually build a team. If you want to build a team, I'll give you a broker. If you want to learn how to be a brokerage, I'll build you up to being a brokerage. Whatever you want to do, we can do. And we guarantee, which is no other agency out there, I guarantee you 6 figures a year. If you don't make that 6 figures a year, we'll pay you the difference. We actually put that in writing when you sit down and sign with us. So right now, if you're in the business, you're not making that 6 figures, you don't have enough leads, you need to come talk to us. Give me a call, 240-389-4319. We'll make sure you get to that level where you need to be. Because honestly, guys, if you're in this real estate business and there's so much deals out here and there's so many buyers out here, and especially where we are, we're unique. We're different from the rest of the country because we located here with the federal government, and every dollar that the federal government spends, 25% of it stays right here. 25 cents out of every dollar stays right here in this area. We got so many contractors out here. We got so many just intelligent people that's making a ton of money that want to be right here where the money is centralized. And it's so transient. It's so transient. You got Congress that's coming and going. Every 2 to 4 years, you got the president that's coming and going every 4 years. These people are coming and going, and everybody's going to follow the money. And you got so many contractors outside these military installations, these buildings everywhere. And they wanted the main people that's pushing the prices in this market. That's why this market is overpriced, because you got so many of those high-end spenders that's coming to this market. And DC is full of young overachievers that's making a ton of money, and they like to spend money, and they're actually buying. So if you're not making 6 figures in this market, it's something that you're doing wrong. Come see us. And we're not trying to take all your money. We understand about the way it's set up that you have to split something with your broker. That's just the way the business is. You got a business inside a business. So, if you're not happy, you think about changing, before you change, come see us. Give me a call, 240-389-4319. What else? Let me get back to the wholesale. So, guys, like I said, if you want to get into the business and start off, what's up, Mr. Griffin? So, now, Charles, the commission split is not 100%. If you want to get into the business, you want to start off wholesaling, you can start off wholesaling. You can start off in this business with too little or no money. And when I first heard this, I was like, yeah, whatever. These guys, they listen to Carlton Sheets on their little night shows all the time. It's nonsense. You can't start in real estate with little or no money. And you actually can. You can actually start wholesaling with little or no money in wholesaling. Wholesaling real estate is very simple. You find a property below market, you buy it below market, you mark it up, and you sell it to somebody at a higher price. So for example, let's say you find a property that's worth $100,000 and it needs repairs, and the owner say, you know what, I just want to get rid of it. So you buy that $100,000 property, say at $40,000, and you turn around, you sell that contract. You sell that contract between you and the owner. You're not selling the property. You sell that contract for $50,000. So you bought the house at $40,000. You're selling your contract for $50,000. That $10,000 difference is your profit, and that's wholesale. And that's how simple and easy it is. That didn't cost you a dime to do. So you can spend money on marketing for those properties. You know, it's different motivated sellers out here, or you can just, you know, buy word of mouth, ask your friends, you know, anybody got a terrible house they want to sell. Or you can just do what we call driving for dollars, you know, just driving around looking at, especially this time of year, you know, properties with tall grass, and you knocking on the door, talking to the neighbors to find a deal. So it's not even going to cost you a dime, because you're going to spend gas money anyway. But I actually got a training where I show you with a cell phone. With a cell phone or a laptop, you can actually do this anywhere in the nation, which is really, really cool. So I love technology. So if you got a cell phone and you have a laptop, you can do this anywhere actually anywhere in the world. You just by, you know, calling people and tell them, hey, this is what I do. So to get started, let's see, you want to get started with little or no money wholesale. What do I got here? So it doesn't matter. Remember I said, guys, it's like a lot of times they tell you in Ohio it's illegal. You can do this anywhere. It's just a different way of doing it. It's so many ways to do this. It's like you can get around it. They're going to change the laws. And what happened in Ohio, right, is the investors was doing really, really well. And the board of realtors there wasn't doing too well. So the local realtors weren't doing too well. The investors were flourishing. So they decided they're going to put some laws in place to try to slow these guys down. So what they did, they tried to put some laws in place to try to slow it down. So eventually I think it's going to catch hold and probably be illegal in a couple more states pretty soon to actually do wholesaling, but there's ways around it too. So step one is you want to find the right area. So you want to find the right area. You just can't go into any area and try to wholesale. Because you go in the areas where the turnovers, like very expensive areas where these guys don't turn over their properties too often, it's not going to be, it's not going to be profitable for you. So you want to avoid the areas where the prices are extremely high. So if you come up there in DC and you try to wholesale around where President Obama just bought his house, it's not going to work. The prices are extremely high. So what you want to do, you want to do some research. You want to get with a realtor. You want to figure out, you know, where are the buyers at? Where are the buyers at in the market? So you take your particular zip code that you want to work in, and you figure out what the median price is in that zip code. What's the high, what's low? You just look at all the properties. And they can do that for you in their little system. They'll tell you what the median price is for any particular zip code. And you look at the median prices, and pretty much anything 10 to 15% below the median, that's your wholesale areas. And that's the areas you want to be looking at. So once you get those numbers and you look at those areas, you can always go back in other sources and you can see how many buyers were there within the last 30, 60, 90 days. You can do the search any way you want. So once you find the area with the highest amount of buyers, that's when you start marketing to that area, driving around that area, knocking on doors in that area. So the first thing you want to do is find the right area, right? Now, once you pull those areas that you found the deals in, you can start driving those areas. Like I said, you can start knocking on doors, or you can actually go to some of the list providers. And the list, you know, these guys, they'll pull a list of property owners with certain criteria. Maybe people that don't live in their property, or people who bought their property 20, 30 years ago. You can pull that list. And once you pull that list, you can start mailing to those individuals, and you probably see those all the time. Also, what you see sometimes under there, you got to see what we call bandit signs. They're called bandit signs because they actually are legal, or we buy houses signs. So if you got some Weibos, you can actually go out and start putting those signs out, we buy houses in those areas, and wait for the phone calls. And keep in mind, if you do that, you won't get phone calls. You might get a phone call from from the county asking you to come take them down with a hefty fine too. So keep in mind when you do that, it's illegal. So first of all, find the area you want to be in, and then go find a list of the properties that you want to do, maybe, you know, high equity or, you know, just vacant properties, or just go put signs and knock on the door. So you want to start working the area. Now, once you get that, you know, it's certain lists that I use today, which is really, really cool. And tax delinquent, so you want to use tax delinquent, vacant properties, divorce, and probate. So once you get that area, tax delinquent, probate, divorce, and vacant. So when you look at vacant, you don't want, if they send you a list, you don't want the properties that have been vacant for a while, because most likely they owned by the bank. So you don't want no real property. You want properties that just went vacant recently. You can actually find that online too yourself, or you can pay somebody to do it for you. And it's a way to get those too. But tax delinquent too. Tax delinquent is really, really cool. With the tax delinquent, you don't want the tax properties that's going to tax sale. You don't want those, especially in Maryland. Maryland is a tax lien state. So you can go buy that lien, but you'll have to foreclose on that lien if they don't come and buy it back from you. So Maryland's a tax lien state, but you don't want the ones that's going to tax sale. You want the ones that's delinquent. Usually it's about 2 years of delinquency before you go to tax sale. So you want the ones with 1 year delinquency, and you can actually get that. Can you get that online? You might not be able to get that online. You can go down to the courthouse. Now they're gonna give you the runaround, but the thing with they're gonna tell you no. But the thing with taxes, you know, all that is public record, and they're gonna tell you they don't have it, they don't know. Believe me, the state, the county, the federal government, everybody know who's delinquent on their taxes, and it's somewhere in this public record. So don't let them BS you, right? Now that you got that list, now you can actually call them. You can call them. You can knock on their door. You can mail to them. You can work them to them, or whatever. But you know, it's really, really cool, man. You can go get those deals, and especially divorce too. I don't know if I said divorce. Divorce, 61% of divorces end with the houses being sold. So that's a good list. But keep in mind, they're going through a situation in their family, so you want to be kind of cautious how you approach these people, because they might not like you coming and asking all these questions about their house when they're going through a divorce. Cool. What's up, Miss Wong? What's up, Pendergraph guys? We actually Pendergraph, Brian Pendergraph, $7.69 an hour. Okay. Brian Pendergraph, our attorneys online with Pendergraph firm. Everybody say shout out to the Pendergraph firm. And that's one of the people you need on your team too. Now speaking back to wholesale, let's go back. Who you gonna need on your team? Guys, you're gonna need a realtor. I don't care if you're in the business, either go get your license or find your real estate license, real estate agent to work with. So you're gonna need a realtor. You're gonna need a title company, right? You're gonna need a handyman. You're gonna need somebody that can go and like fix a squeaky door or fix a leaky faucet or something. So you're gonna need a realtor, a title company, and a title company is definitely your best friend. They can tell you when if those properties got liens on them and what you need to do to get those liens off. You're gonna need a handyman. You're gonna need a real estate attorney, such as the Pendergraph firm. You're definitely gonna need a real estate attorney. So make sure you got a real estate attorney. And you're gonna need other investors. So if you get new, you're new in the business, find your realtor, first of all. Find your realtor. Go ahead and hire your transaction coordinator. They're free. They only get paid when the deal's closed. Find you a title company. Find you a title company that's investor friendly, that know all the different ways to close deals. A lot of title companies won't work with investors, or they don't understand the structure of some of these deals. Find you a title company that's work mainly with investors. They understand all the structure of these deals, because a lot of title companies tell you can't do that or it's illegal. It's not illegal, it's just they don't know how to structure it. You know, everything we do is legal. Everything we do go through a real estate attorney. So, and people are doing it. If it was illegal, there's so many people be in jail. So don't let them tell you that. They tell you that, go find you a new title company. So definitely a real estate agent. Do you need to go get your license yourself? It's totally up to you. I was licensed from 2002 to 2012, I believe. It helped me learn real estate. Do you need it? No. Would I recommend it? It's totally up to you. Because you'll learn the business. You'll have a advantage over regular investors, because you'll have access to not only the MLS, so much knowledge about real estate. It'll help you learn about real estate. So if you know totally nothing at all about real estate, you can go get your license, but if you're not going to educate yourself once you get that license and attend those classes, then you waste your time getting that license. And it's not going to save you a ton of money in commission. You just buy, you know, hey, I'm going to go get my license so I don't have to pay my realtor. It's not going to save you a ton of money because you'll find out when you start doing business, you don't mind paying a realtor because the fee's already in the price of what you get these properties at. Cool. So that's pretty much wholesale. Now the rehabbing. Now keep in mind too, guys, so rehab, once you learn the wholesale, and you like, you know what, I'm paying the bills with this money, I want to make more money. Remember, wholesaling is very little risk. You got very little risk. All you're doing is putting the property under contract and you selling the contract. One of the keys to that is you got to have a strong buyer's list. Make sure you got a strong buyer's list so you don't put a property under contract and you can't sell it. That was one of the problems they was having in Ohio. They was tying up these people property for weeks and for months, and they would not sell them and give them back to it. They was putting people in a situation. You don't want to do that. But once you go from wholesaling, you want to get into rehabbing. Now you're taking on more risk. You know, you're dealing with contractors, you're dealing with work, you're dealing with permits, but the profit is a lot better. So you're looking at a larger profit. In this market right now, in wholesaling, you can make about $5,000 to $10,000 per deal or more. And then with the wholesaling, you're making about $30,000 or $40,000 profit. You know, but you're taking on more risk and you're holding that money. So it all depends on what you want to do. But keep in mind, they say this market is overpriced. When you start getting into the rehab market, you want to get in and out as soon as possible. You don't want to start taking on no major rehab deals. You know, slight rehab, you know, I love prehab. You can something that go in, you need paint and carpet. You can find it dirt cheap. You can go slap some paint on it, put some carpet in, you can sell it at market. That's a great deal. That's what I get into. Or you can get into something and you may have to remodel the kitchen, remodel the bathroom or two. But when you start changing walls and structural, you know, and you're talking like 6 to 9 months before your project is finished, that's something you might want to slow down on because you're not sure what's going to happen with these interest rates and what's in this market, especially too, we're going into the wintertime and you're not sure what's going to happen as far as the weather. The last thing you want to do is start a project now. Here it is August, beginning of August, and you know it's going to take you, say, 6 months to complete that project. So you got August, so you're looking at about December, but around about, say, October, November, you come a major snowstorm and you can't get your people to work. Now, you know, every day you hold that property is cost you money. Then not only that, let's say the interest rates go up a point or two. Now the market's starting to slow down. Now you're like, oh snap, now you're frustrated. You're like, oh man, I should have not gotten to that. So I wouldn't take on any major rehab projects right now. So it's totally up to you guys. But if you want to get into wholesale, I recommend getting into something really like a prehab, or you know, paint, carpet, anything under $15,000 or under $20,000. There's cost of repairs that you can actually get in and get out real quick. But when you start talking $100,000, $200,000 jobs, pulling permits, holding permits, inspections, all that, I wouldn't mess with that. So with the condos conversions, I know I was sent a couple of those, and it depends on where they were in the process. I'm like, nah, that's not something I want to jump into right now. I don't really see that market slowing down as of yet, but I don't want to take the risk. Don't want to take the risk. Cool. So guys, now that you know your target value time, you know, go to Elance, figure out what you want to outsource, take some of that stuff off, and stretch yourself. But you still working for somebody else's job, just over broke, and start writing your book. Figure out what you do. If you typing, you sit there and you type all day and you know the format, do an e-book. Say, hey, this is how you type this if you're working for somebody. Whatever your knowledge is. If you do brakes, hey, this is how you change your own brakes. If you change oil, say, hell, this is the best filter that I found from being in the oil business. You cut grass. Hey, this is the best lawnmower, this is the best time to cut grass. Do a small book, build your web page. You can build a free web page at Wix.com. They're not compensated you for that. But build your web page, do your free ebook, promote yourself, do your own business. Do your own business because you all your own creators. Stop working for somebody else. Make yourself free. We just came back from vacation. We ain't had to sign no papers or ask nobody could we take 2 weeks. We decided to do it on our own, go on vacation. We don't have to ask for permission. So if you got a skill, turn it into a business. And if you got a business, take yourself out that business. You don't have to be the laborer in your business. Outsource that. Outsource it. Go. Guys, got it? Give you a little touch of wholesale. If you got any questions for me, you can email me at Maryland, MARYLAND, housepros.com. MarylandHousePros@gmail.com. MarylandHousePros.com is my website. Once again, I work with Harriet Hawkins and Harriet Golden One Realty and Concierge. We actually won't look into hire more agents. So, but if you're in the market and you're looking to buy or sell your house, definitely get in touch with our Golden One Realty. We can help you out. We got some of the best deals out there. So, if you have any questions, real quick, type them in the box. So we got Pendergraph, Mr. Griffin, Trina in Chicago. Guys, that's about it. That's about it. If you have any more questions, like I said, email me. And we got one more minute before the show is up. Thank you for taking time out of your day to be with me. Appreciate you all. You could have been anywhere. We like it. We love you. Want more of you. So send more of your friends if you like the show. Join us on Facebook. Don't forget Thursday. Thursday we're doing a real estate happy hour about 5:30. Real estate happy hour. We're gonna talk more about real estate, guys. So peace and love. You get a piece. Love it.
Clear.
Thank you. What's up, Tawana? Doug Cut, how y'all be? Y'all still here with me on Facebook. We off the Listen Vision. Hey, oh, hell. Kelly, that's what I'm talking about. Man, did y'all do y'all talking about your time? Y'all know how much y'all time is worth? Now that y'all know how much y'all time is worth, don't let nobody waste your time. Nobody. Nobody's entitled to your time for free. Yeah, all my people, everybody. There's enough out here for everybody. Everybody. Cool. Let's get out there. Wrap this up on here. Somebody get wrapped up out there in Texas. Matter of fact, let's see if I can do that, Dan. You guys any questions before I load out? Oh, man.
Smile, no need for fear. The kids are learning what they should learn.
Hi, what's up, CZ? You say you're mad. How you be? I'm cool. I just sent you a quick text, Miss Payne. Good to hear from you. Baby. Yeah. Guys, you got your DVT? Definitely look. Man, y'all should be doing the ebooks too. The ebooks are so simple and easy. If you want, I'll teach that for free. I'll do a webinar and I'll teach you guys how to do the ebooks for free. But you definitely should be doing the ebooks, promote what you're doing. It's so simple and easy to write a book. You want to become an expert in your field of what you do. You want everybody, when they think real estate, you want them thinking about you. Cool. Guys, I got any questions before I roll up. Pendergraph, you still here? Put your information in, man. Real estate attorney. Put your information. You still logged in so everybody know who my real estate attorney is. And CC, let them know you can take them from wholesaling to rehabbing. So guys, when you go from wholesaling, because that's all I do, I'll put you in touch with CC. She'll teach you how to rehab. She's been doing this rehab for a minute now. I think her first check was over 6 figures. She's been doing it for a while, so she knows what she's doing. Believe it. Any questions before I roll out? Roll out. Thank you guys for joining. I appreciate all of you. Charles, what did you charge?